we're live. Well, let's go. Oh, maybe not. Um, and this is the way we. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, I think we are good to go on. We're good to go on YouTube. Now we just gotta get everything going on for TikTok, but it's not working. Something's happening with the audio. All right, let's see what's happening here. For this, testing 1 2. It looks like it's working on this side. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's probably right there. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, now we can get going. It looks like there was something wrong with the microphone, but we're going. I think it just kind of goes silent every time I press record. I don't know why that's been happening, but it's all good. We're here and we're doing it. So you guys can see I got a couple of different formats up on the screen, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that in a second and see what that's about. All right, let's make sure this is going. This is pretty good on this end. All right, now we're just gonna keep going. All right. Yeah, so this is basically it, what I have right here. As you can see on the screen, 3 different formats. And of course, I don't have my thing ready to go, but of course not. I mean, why would I have that ready to go? So today is Monday. It is July 20th. We got a couple of things going this way. I'm trying a few different setups, and not only with the background but also with the audio, so that's something to also keep in mind. Let's see, we have this going on right here. This is what I was looking for right here. All right, cool. So we have a couple different formats, and I'm going to show you exactly what this means. So every finished edit, so every time you do a video, has to become, whether you filmed it horizontally or 16:9 or HD, every finished edit now has to become a vertical, a square, and just a handful of other different formats. And here's how to do it once instead of 5 times. Now, you've seen people kind of manually, just record it, let's say, for example, horizontal 16:9, and then manually go ahead and do each one, 9:16, which is vertical, 1:1 was square. But I'm going to show you how to do it just one time, and then have all the different formats from just doing it that one time, saving you a lot of money and a lot of time, and mostly time, which is money in itself. So it's all good. So these are the 3 versions that you see up on the screen of the same edit. So 16:9, 9:16, and 1:1. So I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. I'm gonna have this one going. That's the 16:9. This is the 1:1, and then this is the 9:16. So it's the same formats right there, and that's why I stopped it right there to show you. That's how we did it one time, 2 times, and then it's how we did it a 3rd time. So the beautiful thing about it is that each format that you can see is pretty much the same way, in the sense of the title, which is up here, the test video, the let's call this white one right here the lower third, and then this other one the logo, which is another lower third, right, essentially. So each one is different. but it has different formats, but it has the same kind of placement that it would have on its respective platform. And I didn't do this manually, each one for each platform. I did it one time, and that's what I'm going to show you guys, how to do it one time and then have it broken down, repurposed into different content formats without you killing yourself. All right, so what changes the frame and how the design responds to it, which is exactly what I was talking about in the just now. And when this workflow is built correctly, you don't have to recreate everything. And we're going to solve the three different things that usually break, which is the titles, the graphics, and the framing. All right. All right. Now I'm going to show you within the timeline each different one right here. So this is the main format right here, 16:9, and I got the square format and then the vertical format just by repeating exactly what I'm about to show you guys. So before I show you the system, let me break the version most editors build first. All right. So the common approach is to duplicate. So let's say, for example, this is our main one, right? And we would go ahead and duplicate this timeline because let's say we want this to go vertical, right? 16:9. And then, you go ahead and duplicate it. And when you do that, this is what comes out. So it's this right here. I'm sorry, it's not this. You went ahead and duplicated it. So this is it, everything right here. And then what I would do is go to the sequence settings, and then I would go down to video, and then frame size, I would change that to 9:16. I'm sorry, yeah, 9:16. So that's 1080 by 1920. So 9:16, and then it goes to that. Yeah, sure. And then this is what happens. So number one, I'm not framed correctly. As you can see, I'm kind of cut off right here in the middle, and then the title looks kind of squished, and then the lower thirds also looks kind of squished, which is this part right here, like it's all squished right there. It almost looks like we have to do a kind of like a separating the title, but then I have to do that for every single one. And it's like, can't I just, let's say for example, I have this right here, and then the test video, it's like, do I make it bigger? Do I make it smaller? But it's like squished in there. How do I go ahead and fix that, right? And it's obviously the sequence change, but the design has no idea what's supposed to hold on to, right? And that's why, the title kind of sometimes leaves a frame, but this one has stayed right there. Lower thirds kind of lose their position, and then everything just kind of lands in the wrong place. But so the format change is not only a settings change, it also has to do with the design. So everything that you put on top of it, right? So all this stuff. So fixed position graphics break because they were built for one frame and giving no positioning rules. So we are going to go ahead and do this by giving it position rules as well, all the design stuff. All right, so how do we fix this? The fix starts by separating the story from the format used to deliver. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, instead of duplicating this and then showing exactly what I did just now of how to not do it and just change the sequence settings, we're gonna do the first thing, which is we're gonna make a master sequence, and that's what this is right here. So it holds the story, which is the timing, the selected shots, the audio, and the core edit. So for example, all these things, we don't have them in right now. What we're gonna do is make the master sequence with just this right here, which is the clips that we chose. All the story and these two different clips, and we're gonna go ahead and nest that. So we're gonna press nest right there, boom, and you're gonna get this, which is this right here, this nested sequence right here in the bottom. And then now each delivery sequence from this, every sequence that we're gonna make from this, it's going to reference that master one instead of becoming another independent edit that we have to go clip by clip. Remember, we're saving time. So if the story changes, I updated in the master instead of repairing 3 separate timelines. All right, so everything that we're going to make that we change is going to come from this sequence right here. So anything that has to survive every crop needs to stay inside the shared safe area, which I'm going to show you right now. And the working rule is super simple. Design the graphic, so all the titles that we're going to do, to hold on to something before changing the frame. And I'm going to show you how to do that just now. All right. So let's say we have this. We already nested all the story. It's this right here. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to add the title, which is this right here, test video. And then we're going to add the logo and then the lower third right there. So now we have that. Excellent. Now, how are we going to make sure that we go ahead and duplicate this correctly, right? So we have everything, the whole story on that's already nested. Now let's start with the test video. What we're going to do is go to properties or test video. We're going to go all the way down, and then we're going to go to responsive design position. So we're going to pin it to video frame, which is fine. And then as you're going to see, we have a couple different boxes. It'll say, if you hover over it, select which edges of the parent layer will be used for pinning, right? So we have the top, right, bottom, and left. So for this test one, I want it to be right there on the top. So we're going to click on that. This director one, this is the one on the left. So we're going to click on that, go all the way down, and then same thing, responsive design position. And this one, we want it to be in the bottom. And we're going to do the same thing for the other one. We want it to be in the bottom as well, the yellow one. Make sure responsive design position right there, clicked. Boom. All right. Now that that's there, I'm going to make sure that, take this out of here. Is right there. So that's the one that we have, the original one. And I kind of like to show this that I'm doing right there because with the hands, it kind of shows, looks pretty dynamic. Anyways, now that the story has one source, which we just showed right here. All right. Now that it has one source, we can build the vertical version without touching the source clip. So we're not touching any of that. All right. So now we're going to duplicate this one. All right. The delivery sequence, right? So this isn't the master one, it's the delivery sequence. Duplicate that one. So I have it right here named main delivery. Gonna go ahead and duplicate that. So that'll be the copy, but I'm gonna name it 9 by 16. All right, so that's gonna be the vertical one. So we're gonna open that up. So now we have it right there, vertical. Nice. So we're going to go inside and change the settings to make it into a vertical. So it's almost kind of like what we did in the beginning, but this time we nested all the source clips, the story, everything, the audio into one clip, and then we pinned all the different graphics. So the title, the lower third, and the logo. All right. So that's the difference. So now when we change the sequence settings, boom. Now everything, as you can see, the title's not squished together. The one in the top and the ones in the bottom, excuse me, they're not squished. They're not affected by the different frame because we told the program, pin it, hold it. It's going to respond to wherever we put it, whatever canvas. All right, now the only thing that I have to do is just fix the main edit and main clips on the timeline. So it's the nested sequence right here. We're gonna go in and we're just gonna zoom it in. Everything's black, so we're gonna go all the way in here, and that's where that goes. And let's say, for example, what I really like to use the safe margins for this. So I'll go ahead and press the little wrench, the program monitor, and then go to here we go. Safe margins. Ugh. Hold on one second, guys. I didn't even record this, and I needed to record this. All right. I think everybody on YouTube is going to get another lesson, which is all good. Which is all good. I'm going to start again. So let's do it. I'm going to start from the beginning. So I'm actually going to take this one away and clear this one. And I'm going to start with this. All right, let's start from the beginning. Hold on one second. All right, let's keep going. I don't know, man. These are the things that happen. What do you want me to do? All right, let's start from the beginning. All right. Now, the name of this stream is called One Edit, Every Format in Premiere Pro. So I'm going to show you how to turn one edit and distribute it to different formats. All right. So, nowadays every finished edit has to become a vertical, a square, and a handful of different other formats to fit on these different platforms. And here's how to do it one time instead of a bunch of different times. All right. So let me show you these formats. And these are 3 different versions of the same edit. So 16 by 9, 9 by 16, and 1 by 1. It's going to go right there. It's going to go here. I'm going to show you this guy here. Same one. This is 1 by 1 square. This is a vertical format, and this is the horizontal. All right. Now, the story stays the same. What changes is the frame and the way the design responds to that one, to that format. So the titles, the lower thirds, and all that. When this workflow is built correctly, you don't have to recreate everything, every title, lower third, or logo. And today we're going to solve the 3 things that usually break, which is the graphics, the framing, and the titles. Okay. So let me show you exactly what it looks like on the frame. I'm sorry, not on the frame, on the program, on Premiere Pro. And it's this right here. And we made all those different versions from just this one right here. All right. All right. Now, before I show you the system, let me break down what most editors do. So what they'll do is they'll start from here, the bad copy. Well, let me go like this. Let me actually go back. Let me start by this one, and let me start by showing you this right here. Okay. Okay. So what most editors, what they'll do is that they'll start with the timeline, right? Wherever they edit it, this case horizontal, and they'll go ahead and they'll duplicate it, right? And this will come out. They'll duplicate that, and then what they'll do is, oh, I need this vertical 9 by 16, so I'll go ahead and go to the sequence settings, and then change it to a 9 by 16, so 1080 by 1920, and then this will happen. It's kind of like stretched out. The titles and the graphics look stretched out. They're not even. Even the picture, the camera doesn't look good like where it's supposed to be. All right, so that's the common approach. The sequence changed, but the graphics have no idea what they're supposed to hold on to. That's why the titles sometimes leave the frame or get squished like this one. So format change is not only a settings change, but it's also a design change. And that's the step that most editors skip. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, this fix starts by separating the story from the format used to deliver it. All right, so what we had is this right here. So what we're gonna do first is the story. So for example, the adjustment layers, the color grade, everything, the 2 different clips put together, and the audio, you're gonna put them all together, and then we're gonna right click it, and then we're gonna press nest, right? So once you do that, it'll turn to this right here, green clip, everything nested in there, that's the story, and then we're gonna add the graphics, which is these right here, right? So then what we're going to do within the graphics, click each one. So for example, test video. And before this, what I like to do is press on the wrench and then go to safe margins so that now I know where to put them. And that way, when I change the format for the platform, they stick there and they pin to that video. So for example, test video, click on that, go to the properties, and we're gonna go all the way down to responsive design position. And then these little frame markers, it says select which edges of the parent layer will be used for pinning. So we got top, down, right, left. We want this one at the top, so I'm gonna press that one. The one on the bottom left, we want that to be on the pin on the bottom, and then the same as the one on the yellow, we want the pin to be on the bottom. Excellent. All right, so now the master sequence, which is this one right here, it holds the references instead of becoming another independent edit. And if the story changes, I just update it here in the master one instead of repairing 3 different timelines. All right. So my working rule is simple: design the graphic to hold on to something before changing the frame. All right, so now we told the 3 different graphics that we wanted to hold on to something. When we that way, when we change the frame, it knows what to respond to. All right, so now that the story has one source, we can build the vertical version without touching the source clips. So now we're going to go to the bin right here. This is our master bin, and now we're going to go to the delivery bin, and then we're going to go for the main delivery sequence, which is this right here. Cool. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is create the 2 additional formats, so the 9x16 and the 1x1, to prove that this workflow is repeatable. All right. So I'm adapting the delivery sequence and not rebuilding the edit at all. That's what we want to avoid. So for vertical, I'm going to reframe the nested master instead of changing every individual source clip. All right, so the lower third is going to keep its internal spacing because the elements are pinned with the responsive design. The style stays the same. I'm not retyping it or creating another disconnected version. So once the vertical version works, the square version follows the same process, right? So master sequence, delivery one is this one right here, 16x9. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to name it 9x16 vertical. Open that one. All right. So now this is the 9x16 one that we just made. We're going to go up to sequence settings, and we're going to change it to 1080 by 1920. So the difference from how we did this in the beginning is that now we told everything what it needs to do. All right. So we're going to change that. Okay. Boom. So see, now all the graphics aren't squished together like they belong somewhere else. They're in the same same place. The only thing we need to change is the nested sequence camera. So for this one, we're just gonna bring it up to where it needs to be, right there. And even the video, the test video title, I pinned up top, but maybe we just want to move it a little bit away from our head. It's right there, right above that line, and that's why I love to use the safe margins. So if you guys aren't used to using that, definitely use that. All right, cool. So now that one is 9x16. Now we're gonna duplicate it one more time, the main delivery, main sequence, duplicate it one more time, and then this one is going to be for the square 1x1 ratio. So we're going to open that one, and then we're going to go to sequence settings, and then we're going to change it to 1080 by 1080 to make a 1x1. Press OK to that. Delete all previous for the sequence. It's all good. Boom, and that's it. It's squared right there. And let's say you want to move that test one. This one, we didn't even have to move the nested part at all. Oop, this is one right here. We could kind of adjust it if we wanted to, but we don't got to do that. I think it did a pretty good job. The test video, what I'll do is, again, move it up just a little bit more because we are changing it a bit, and it'll be right there on the top. So let's see, now all the different sequences have the same thing. So look, This is the 9x6, I'm sorry, the 16x9 horizontal one right there. Boom. All right, see where everything is. Safe margins, head, lower, third, graphics. Now the vertical one is this right here. All right, so it's right there, almost in the same spot from the safe margins. And then the 1x1, the square is that right there. And that's it. Now with all three versions built, the final mistake would be exporting them one at a time. So if you made them, made everything one time and just kind of like duplicated it and tweaked it, that's the same thing that we're gonna do when we export it. All right, so each format is ready, but I don't wanna sit here exporting them one by one all day. So from Premiere, I'm gonna send every finished sequence to the Media Coder app. So it's gonna be the Media Encoder queue. All right, and each version is going to have its own preset, frame size, codec, and destination. And then once the queue is checked, I start at once and just kind of let Media Encoder process every deliverable. And the real payoff is not only a faster edit, but it's fewer options, or I would say fewer opportunities to export the wrong version. All right, so we just do it once. All right, now this is how we're going to do it. So let's say main delivery, 16x9. So what I'm going to do is go to export. And let's say I want to name that one 16x9. Let's do 16_9, and it'll be that. Let's say I know exactly where I want to send it to. I'm going to press send to Media Encoder, and let's do it for purposes. Do you want to replace it? I'll just put keep both. Send to Media Encoder. Media Encoder is going to open up ASAP. Cool. So now this is let me do this real fast since I have it full screen here. Premiere. I'm going to bring up the Media Encoder right here. Well, you guys can see it. All right. Right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the vertical 9x16, same thing, export. I'm going to go 9x16 right there, send to Media Encoder. Good, it's all good to go. And then 1x1, which is the square, same thing, export 1x1. I'm going to send to Media Encoder. And then now what's going to happen is that right here in the Media Encoder, I'm going to go right here on the queue. And 0 of 3 items processed, everything format H.264. The preset right there, in case you want to change it, you can click on that. And then the output file, wherever you want it to output. And then once it's ready to go, where everything is going to the right spot, we press play, and then we just let it run. Let that run, and boom. And that's exactly where we get these 3 formats right here and how they did that. All right, so now the entire system comes down to 3 moves, and you can build it into every future project. All right, so that's it. It's pretty simple. I'm just gonna recap it so you guys know it's super simple. So first, let me go right here. So first, nest the master so the story lives in one place. Second, you're going to pin the graphics so the titles, lower thirds respond correctly to each frame. Third, you're going to queue every delivery sequence so the exports run together. Do it one time. And you're going to set the structure up once inside a template project, and then it'll be waiting for the next job. So you're no longer rebuilding the edit every single time. You're just adapting one controlled system. All right, so build the master once, and then let every format inherit it. And that's the whole workflow. Simple as that. I'm gonna end it here. So make sure to subscribe. Tomorrow I'm posting how I sync audio in Premiere, every method, including footage with no audio at all. So I appreciate you guys watching. You guys have been fantastic so far. Thank you for all the love. I'm gonna actually end this one right here, and I'm gonna